All right. Saw Derek and Susan with Warren at the Knicks game Wednesday night courtside, taking a much deserved breather and making the most of their time in New York City for this year's Beacon Run. If you remember, they skipped their traditional Beacon Run in 2023 for Madison Square Garden. Then they did 5 Beacon dates last year, but split up 3 in February, March, 2 in September. This year, they returned to the residency model with 6 shows slated for the Beacon. And they started last Saturday night on the 17th with a powerful new song. I think that it was debuted a few nights before, and this was the second performance of Future Soul, and it is a fantastic blues rocker. Asheville. I guess it had to be Asheville. Where else would they have debuted the song but Asheville? Saturday's set list also marked the 2025 debuts of I Can't Make You Love Me and Show Me, the return of Joyful Noise, which hasn't been played since last September in Brooklyn. Oh, in the covers front, they did Prince 1999, obviously, Dylan, Little Benny King with Ain't It Fair, Mike Reed, I Can't Make Love to You, and the incomparable Joe Tex on Show Me. Also, Louis Jordan's Let the Good Times Roll made its 4th appearance of the year, giving the performance that signature mix of originals and soulful reinterpretations. After they took a day off on Sunday, the band came back Monday night with another bunch of surprises. They opened up with Crazy Crying, a recent original from their May 1st Sunsand and Soulfest performance, and continued to work in the newer stuff like Moon, cover of Billy Taylor's I Wish I Knew. There was also some fan favorites, Do I Look Worried, Fall In, of course, Angel from Montgomery into Sugaree, which may be one of Susan's most poignant performances, pairing them two together. They also did a haunting, I guess would be a good description, take on Springsteen's State Trooper before Let's Go Get Stoned closed it out, the Ray Charles classic. All right, Tuesday night was night 3, and they leaned into their 2011 debut, Revelator. They had a few of Susan and Derek solo gems from earlier day. We got another Future Soul in the encore. Susan, if you hadn't seen, is apparently pretending to be a Knicks fan. There's pictures running around of she threw a Knicks jersey over her amp, even though she is a self-described Celtics fan. Yeah, Patrick Ewing jersey. So I don't know if that matters. They right off the bat, though, we got the Derek and the Dominos Keep on Growing, one of my favorite covers that they do. Get What You Deserve, Stand Out, Don't Let Me Slide. The back half of the set featured the beautiful duet I Am the Moon with Kebby Williams doing a fantastic sax solo. We got a deep cut Blind Faith cover. We got some Dr. John. Susan brought the house down with Just Won't Burn. We got Prince DMSR in its first appearance in over 6 months. They played last night, but we haven't had a chance to dig in. So look for that full recap on Monday when we'll probably get back over all 6 shows. And if you're a member, you'll get the bonus episode that day. All right, let's move on. All right, Cat Stevens back on the road. Yusuf, the artist formerly known as Cat Stevens, is set to embark on a really unique book tour this fall in support of his forthcoming memoir, Cat on the Road to Find Out. The promotional track will be titled Cat on the Road to Find Out, an evening of tales, tunes, and mysteries. It will blend storytelling, conversations, acoustic performances as Stevens explores the, quote, transformative journey chronicled in his book. The UK and Ireland leg of the tour begins September 6th. You get Cambridge, England, a couple stops in Dublin, September 13th, and then back to Glasgow on September 22nd. The North American leg kicks off October 2nd in Philly, wraps up October 21st in Los Angeles. All right, from the description, each evening will offer fans a deep dive into Stevens' personal and artistic evolution, with intimate reflections on his transition from global pop stardom to his spiritual journey. Alongside an in-depth discussion of the memoir, audiences will be treated to acoustic renditions of classic tracks, a multimedia experience that includes archival images, video, and artwork. Tickets for the sale go on tour at 10 o'clock. So probably in about 50 minutes or so, local time to wherever you are. So I guess if you're in LA, you got a good 3 hours. Pre-sale options and special bundles, including a copy of the book, are available. Hardcover will be released September 18th in the UK, October 7th in North America, which is weird because the tours are already started in both those places. The audiobook is going to be narrated by Cat Stevens, and the memoir features dozens of original hand-drawn illustrations, rare archival material. In his statement, Stevens explained that the book reflects his decade-long pursuit of spiritual understanding and artistic expression, offering insights not as a teacher, but as a fellow traveler on the path to meaning and enlightenment and fulfillment. My fault. I don't want to misspeak for him. The tour promises a rare chance to hear Yusuf Cat Stevens speak candidly about his life's journey from the dizzying heights of fame to quieter inward passages, and to experience firsthand the songs and messages that have resonated across generations. He will also be performing at London's Hyde Park on June 11th with Neil Young and the Chrome Hearts. So that might be really cool. I have a weird relationship with Cat Stevens. Like T for the Tillerman never did much for me, the Peace Train stuff, but he has an album, which I guess was his first album after he was a pop star and decided to go on the more acoustic path that he did, called Mona Bone Jackin', and it is probably in my top 20 albums. Every song is fantastic. Peter Gabriel plays flute on one of the tracks, but just a brilliant snapshot of where he was at that moment, and every song is worth the price of admission. All right, next up, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band brought the house down in Manchester this week with 2 powerhouse shows at the brand new Co-op Live Arena. Saturday night, from the moment they walked on stage, you knew things were going to be different. The whole band walked out together into a single spotlight instead of everybody coming out and then everyone yelling, Bruce, Bruce. He, right off the bat, went into this little speech, rant, whatever you want to call it, about the state of things in the U.S. at the moment, then launched right into Land of Hope and Dreams. And wow, if you watch the video of it, it really is raw, urgent, personal. I don't think he liked the president tweeting about him and threatening him, but he kept going. Death to My Hometown, Lonesome Day, Out in the Street made its first appearance since last fall. Then came Rainmaker with new lyrics and apparently some of the most dramatic lighting of the evening. Bruce's lighting guy really does some great work. That Bruce did do some of the hits, though. We got Hungry Heart, we got To the River, and then he went back into the heavier political stuff. Youngstown, Murder Incorporated, Long Walk Home. Then on Tuesday night, the second show took things even further. Bruce opened up with a direct shot at the Trump administration, calling it corrupt, incompetent, and treasonous before blasting into No Surrender. And he asked the crowd, are you ready for round 3? This tour isn't just about music. He's been using these shows to speak out. Later in the set, we got A City of Ruins. He quoted James Baldwin, and he said to the crowd, we're on a mission, and I really do believe he is. Next up is Lille, France, Saturday, May 24th. And if Manchester's any indication, Springsteen's still got a lot of fire left in his gut. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to give you a little overview. We're going to try something different. We got to catch up with guitarist and band leader Joe Marcinek, known for his rotating supergroup, the Joe Marcinek Band. He has some jazz, some funk, some improvisation, and an ever-changing cast of all-star collaborators. We caught up with him to talk about his upcoming late-night shows following PHiSH in Austin and Chicago. So why don't we jump in and check it out? Well, what I got you on for was this summer you're going to do some more of these after shows for PHiSH. What do you have on tap, and who's going to be joining you for them?
So we got two huge ones coming up. We just announced June 27th in Austin, Texas at Antone's. We'll be doing a Dead Funk Summit with Eric Krasno on guitar and vocals, which he's one of my main influences. I'm beyond excited that I actually get to play with him now. It's funny, he's borrowed my guitar I think 4 times now on different shows I've been at where he broke a string or didn't have a guitar and was, here, take mine. So this is really exciting to finally get to collaborate with them. And then for that one, it'll be Reed Mathis on bass and Cliff Porter out of Reno on drums. So that'll be in Austin, Texas, Friday, June 27th at Antone's.
Well, let me get this right. We're going 2 guitars. We're going 2 guitars, bass, and drums for this one.
And so that's where it starts. And they always start very simple, but friends end up coming out. They've got a Hammond B3 on stage. I play keyboards as well. Reed's been playing a lot of guitar lately. And Krasno plays bass. So I'm sure at some point we're all going to be switching off, playing different instruments. We can go round robin.
Yeah, do the rotation jam like PHiSH did. I talked to Reed a couple weeks ago. I actually talked to Reed a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me how the bass he plays the bass like a guitar in his mind, and I was like, yeah, you do. I've never heard anybody play bass like you ever.
No, and it's very much in that Phil Lesh tradition of trying to play more melodically and not just playing the traditional role of the bass. He's exploring and searching for new sounds, and the bass just happens to be his instrument.
Yep, there you go. And then I guess also the 18th, 19th, you're doing one in Chicago, right?
Yeah, so then in July, we've got 2 huge after shows planned at this place called the Epiphany Center for the Arts. It's less than 8-minute walk from the United Center, so super close. And for this one, somehow I managed to arrange this band with Melvin Seals on organ, Aaron Magner on keyboards from the Disco Biscuits, Mark Brownstein on bass from the Disco Biscuits, and Jeff Sipe, who's one of my favorite drummers of all time. So this lineup is just beyond ridiculous. I can't believe we get to do this for 2 nights. And then I'm going to have a slew of special guests coming through to sing, some horn players, some other drummers. And I don't even know what's going to happen, but it's going to be incredible. And that'll be July 18th and 19th in Chicago.
All right, $25 advance, 30-day of the show, and you can get the VIP table, huh?
That's right. Tickets are on sale now. We always suggest to get your tickets in advance. I know everyone worries about having to pay a couple extra dollars in fees, but for the artists, this really helps us because promoters lately, especially with the economy, they get cold feet. So if there's not a lot of pre-sale tickets, sometimes they end up canceling the show on you. So if you see shows getting canceled, it's usually because people aren't buying tickets in advance, and that really helps us not have to worry so much. So we really, really appreciate the support if you can get your tickets in advance.
Right. And the March
challenges.
Yep. All right. Before I let you go, I know you're in your car and you got a million things going on. April 29th, a couple weeks back, the Groove Session came out, album you did with Jesus Molina and Ronnie and Manny Sanchez from Groove Session. The band Groove Session,
That's
which
right.
inspired the title, I guess. You want to throw out a little pitch for that? Let us know where we can get it and what was going on with that.
Yeah, I was literally just at the post office shipping out some vinyls. So I'm mom and pop organization. I do everything myself. So if you want a vinyl, shoot an email to joemarcinikband@gmail.com and I'll get your address and send it to you with a bunch of stickers and some other free stuff. But yeah, I've been working with Groove Session for over 10 years now. They're some of my favorite human beings in the world. Every time we get together, we just laugh and have such a good time. So we've been trying to figure out a way to record. And so I came down to LA in, I guess this is the fall of 2022 at a good buddy Greg Spiro's studio. At that time, it was called the Tiny Room in Inglewood. He's since moved to Malibu, I believe. But we got together, and then I met Jesus just randomly through my good buddy Shua in Vegas. And Jesus has so much technique. He's one of the best keyboardist piano players you'll ever hear in your life. Just like look up any video, Jesus Molina on YouTube, and you're just going to be blown away. So I wrote some really fun tunes with him in mind that I knew we were going to get to work together. And then with Manny and Ronnie just holding down the groove, it's like, just let's set him up to go. So on my album last year, which was One River Street, it was like every song had a guitar solo. It was really guitar heavy. So for this album, I took way back. I think I just played the melodies. There might be one guitar solo on the whole record. So this one's way more piano based, way more groove based. And we just had such a blast. So then afterwards, Greg ended up sitting in on a couple tunes on piano. And then the great Howard Levy played harmonica on 2 tracks. And this cat out of Nashville, Tracy Silverman, played violin. So yeah, just it came together so well. It's my favorite album, just such a joy. And if anyone likes, kind of funkier jazz music, suggest checking it out. It's available on all streaming platforms, YouTube. If you send me an email, I'll send you a copy.
All right. Yeah, 4 times. I've spoken to Joe before. Also, Manny from Groove Session. We've had him on All That Jam. Make sure you get tickets if you're going to Austin and Chicago. I mean, the Chicago thing is going to be fantastic, but really the one in Austin piques my interest with Krasno and Reed Mathis and him. That's going to be crazy. 2 guitars. I'm a fan of the 2 guitar things. So why don't we move right along and jump into our Bonnaroo has revealed the 2025 Superjam lineup, and it is one of the most interesting ones in a long time. It is themed as the insanely fire 1970s pool party Superjam. And as you can see, there's some of the folks who are going to be joining her. Haley Williams from Paramore, Grace Bowers, Mountjoy. It will take place Saturday, June 14th, right in the middle of the festival at this tent. It's been a long time since I've been to Bonnaroo. So that looks like it's going to be funky, groovy, disco-y. Very interesting. All right, let's move to a rock and roll mystery. Many, many years ago, Jim Morrison's bust from his grave in Paris was stolen in 1988. It's been missing for 37 years, and apparently the police in France stumbled upon it completely by accident while investigating another case. They posted the find on social media with a photo of the worn but still recognizable bust. No one was expecting it, and it kind of lit up the internet. Doors fans don't have much to talk about beyond Robbie Krieger playing these days, I guess. The sculpture was originally created by a Croatian artist, Mladen Mikulin, in 1981, a full decade after Morrison died. It became one of the must-see things in the Père Lachaise Cemetery. And at one time, somebody just grabbed it and ran off. Back in 94, 2 American fans even tried to replace it with one of their own version. Even the one guy using his retirement savings to making a bronze replica. Wow. As for the original, it's unclear if it'll be returned to Morrison's grave. The cemetery curator says they haven't heard from the police yet. All right, let's move on. We mentioned the appearance of Garcia's Bean at a Tom Hamilton show at the newly opened Garcia's in Chicago a while back, and from the looks of it, the whole tour kind of smoked. It had 2 weekends, and the band included Ryan Jewell on drums, Tom McKee on keys, and Taylor Shell on bass. It hit Pittsburgh, Columbus, the Garcias in Chicago, Portland, Mount Kisco, and then rounded it up at the Homestead Bar and Kitchen in Morristown, New Jersey. Throughout the run, Hamilton treated fans to 2 set shows each night that pulled from his solo work, American Babies, Brothers Past, bunch of covers, Tangled Up in Blue, Lay Down Sally, Fascination Street, Screaming Trees, Nearly Lost You. And apparently Tom even sat down at the piano for a rendition of Thunder Road at the aforementioned Homestead Bar and Kitchen in Morristown, New Jersey. All right, let's get loud. Cryptocurrency's 1994 debut, Blasphemy Made Flesh, is getting a huge reissue, and it's going to have the original album. Fans will get an unreleased live set from 95 and a brand new melody of the title track that features the one and only Billy Strings. He's been known to play some metal guitar before. 2024, he sat in with Flesh and Blood Robot. He sat in with Tool. So kind of excited to hear what goes on there. I love when Billy picks up the guitar and plugs in, because I think it keeps him honest when it comes to the bluegrass stuff. All right, let's move on to the
First thing you should bring is tickets.
Bring a tarp.
Bring a ground cover because it gets pretty wet.
Money, lots of money.
All right. Lotus announced Summerdance Festival over Labor Day weekend, the 28th through the 31st, at Nelson Ledges Quarry Park in Garrettsville, Ohio. They will perform 6 sets over 3 nights. Also in the lineup, we got Pigeons doing 2 nights, including the Thursday headline set. Other ones jumping out at me: Dogs in a Pile, Houseplant, Michael Wilbur, and my fave, Space Bacon. Love those guys. Summerdance has a few things. Tim Palmieri, obviously the guitar in Lotus. Luke Miller as Luke the Knife and Mike Greenfield will each do DJ silent disco sets. Additional bands will be announced. Hopefully some of their other solo projects. Nelson's Ledges Quarry Park has more than 400 campsites, some deep in the woods, some along the quarry, and others in secluded meadows. It says they have hiking, camping, fishing, swimming, scuba, snorkeling. That actually looks like a really cool festival there. So speaking of Dogs in a Pile, they announced a bunch of headlining dates from July into September. They're going to be hitting Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, California. A few things jumped out to me. They're doing Dillon Amphitheater, Rhythms on the Rio and Del Norte, Crested Butte, and Mishawaka Amphitheater. There's a hometown gig at the Stone Pony on August 31st. A few other fests: the June Lake Jam Fest, Bender Jamboree, and the tour caps off at the Troubadour in Los Angeles for 2 nights on September 18th and 19th. So if you're out there, check it out. All right, another one of my absolutely favorite bands in the world, Kirkos, has announced that they have a huge summer tour coming up. They're hitting the road, first time in the Northeast, 10 different cities, returning to some spots they've been, kicking it off in Chicago and Martyrs. And we go through, we get South Bend, Toledo, Buffalo, then New Haven, Cambridge, 2 nights in Brooklyn at Hart Bar. So if you don't know about Kirkos, they're a St. Louis-based experimental rock band. It's jazz, fusion, post-rock, doom, industrial, all kinds of stuff's going on. Really genre-defying soundscapes for me. And their music really is like the epitome of the exploration of beauty and decay. You get King Crimson, you get some Twin Peaks stuff. They actually do Twin Peaks covers, Medeski, Martin, and Wood vibes. Really good stuff. If you get a chance to check them out, because that's going to be one of your $20, $30 tickets instead of spending $600 in San Francisco. All right, Ringo Starr and his all-star band are back on the road. Now, what Ringo really needs to do is get his kid, Zach, to play drums for him and cover The Who's Won't Get Fooled Again. But I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, we got his band: Steve Lukather, Colin Hay, Warren Ham, Hamish Stewart, Greg Bissonette, and Buck Johnson. They're doing a 6-night run at the Venetian in Las Vegas. They also got stops at Chicago, Milwaukee. It's going to be more of his country vibes from the last album. And he also has a performance at Louisville's Bourbon and Beyond. So if you're going to see that PHiSH band, maybe you get to check out Ringo Starr, which I would really love to see Ringo Starr. He's just fantastic. The country album, the T-Burn Burnett thing he just did, it's okay. I watched something on PBS. But it's always been a thing with his, you know. He has that Boku of Blues album that he did in 70. Remember Act Naturally from, what was that, on Rubber Soul, I guess. So All right. Swanne Roots Revival is set to return to Spirit of Suwannee Music Park in Live Oak, Florida. It's going to be October 9th through the 12th. It's their 9th year. We got O'Teal. We got Yonder Mountain. Donna the Buffalo. Remember Donna the Buffalo? Peter Rowan and the Walls of Time Band. O'Teal's going to be bringing with him Melvin Seals, Steve Kimmock, Jason Crosby, John Kimmock, a couple other guys. It's going to be fantastic. And Donna the Buffalo is apparently going to perform all 4 days. So I'm loving that. We get Jim Lauderdale on the Game Changers. I interviewed Jim over on All That Jam recently. He is fantastic. If you don't know about him, dig into it a little. He wrote a bunch of tunes with Robert Hunter. Seth Walker also spoke to him recently over on All That Jam. He is a Royal Potato Family guy and fantastic Americana rock there. Got a lot of some John Prine kind of vibes from him. The Lee Boys, Henhouse Prowlers. It looks like it's going to be fantastic. They're going to have campground picking parties. Performances will take place across multiple stage. Big Cosmos Amphitheater, the dance tent. If you've been there, you know about all this stuff. And you should check that out if you're interested. Go to their website for more information. I got one more for you, and then we're going to wrap it up. Carbon Leaf, who I've also interviewed over on All That Jam, is hitting the road this fall. I Want to Be a Leaf tour. They're going to play 30 shows in support of their latest album, Time is a Playground. September 23rd in Indiana. They're going to hit Nashville, Austin, Phoenix, San Francisco. And they're going to have a 2-night stop in Seattle on October 4th and 5th. Like I said, I spoke with lead singer Barry Privett recently on All That Jam, and great conversation. It's clear this band is energized, ready to bring it live, so catch them if you can. And with that, remember Wednesday night, we are going to have Peter Negroponte from Gorilla Toss on live with us as a guest host. I am so excited. I've spoken to Peter a few times. Gorilla Toss is another one of those outside the box bands. They have a new single out. We'll get into a little bit of that, but mostly we're just going to hang out and BS with them. We also have something from about Hookahville. Dave from Acoustic Hookah is going to be sitting down with us. So we're going to do one of our festival things about the upcoming 60th Hookahville. And lots more. Make sure you like, subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Think about becoming a member for things like the complete Joe Marcinek interview that'll be dropping tomorrow for members only. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long. We'll see you soon.